All right, let's go over some Bitcoin price action. So, yesterday was a really good day of trading for me, actually. I took two very nice trades, two that ended up being some very great winners. I did get stopped out in one trade, but overall, it was a very successful day. Took this short right over here and this long, which I am still in. And both of these trades, I was looking at Market Cipher for them, but the confirmations I used to enter them were using Coinalyze, using order flow, a free indicator. So you really didn't need Market Cipher for this. Even though I was, for this long, I was looking at the 12-minute money flow increasing. For this short, I was probably looking at Market Cipher as well, probably looking at low time frame, momentum, and money flow decreasing, which, we did see on the 3-minute. Overall, the confirmations for these were on Coinalyze, so it was using a free indicator, so I want to go over those trades. But first, I want to kind of look at just what Bitcoin is doing on the larger time frames, because even though right now I'm more focused on trading the local price action, I don't really care what Bitcoin does on the larger time frame. If we dump from here, whatever, I'll be looking for trade setups locally. If we pump back up into this range, I got some higher term levels up here, but I'll still pretty much be doing the same thing, just looking to trade the local price action for the most part. But the higher term context and a higher term bias can definitely help you even when you're just scalping the low time frames. And right now, Bitcoin has done something somewhat significant. We have gotten back above the value area low of this larger range, which right now is coming in around 27,186. And right now we are getting a move back down towards that area, potentially looking to back test this area before getting a move higher. That is what I would really want to see as we reclaim this value area low. I'd like to see us hold it as support, especially after falling outside of it. But I don't know if I like how quickly we are testing it. Usually, if you get a bigger move above the level and then come back later to retest it, that tends to be more significant. So I probably would prefer if we, kind of held off on testing that for a little bit. Now, looking at market structure on the daily, market structure has been kind of wonky, especially since we've basically just been ranging here. But you can draw out daily structure here, and drawing it out like this, we have technically already broken the uptrend right here, even though it was an SFP. We still made a lower low, and then we put in a lower high and another lower low. So you could definitely say that, we are in a daily downtrend right now, even though, overall we are still in a range and, the market structure is a little wonky with, a lot of SFPs happening like this one right here. So some people might not call this a higher low. And we got this SFP right here. Overall conditions are still rangy. However, you can make a case that we are in a daily downtrend. Now, we just came down recently to take out these lows, and we did technically SFP them, even though this isn't like a market structure point right now, I wouldn't say. Alright, so when I was editing this, I realized I didn't exactly word this correctly, but you could technically make a case for this being the daily high or low, since this up here was an SFP. Some people don't consider SFPs as genuine breaks of structure, and so if you're not considering that SFP a break of structure, then the daily market structure looks like this, and we just put in a higher high and now have SFP'd the last higher low. So potentially showing that the attempt at a downtrend here was a failure, and that an uptrend may continue. That is one way to look at it. I just don't necessarily like it, but this is technically one way of looking at it, as if we just SFP'd the daily high or low. But we did wick down below that level on the daily. We only left a wick down there, and we were able to get back above this level, close candles well above it, and have since gotten a move to the upside, kind of reclaiming this range. So that is somewhat bullish. However, I wouldn't say it is reason enough for me to think we are absolutely going to get a move back inside this range. And really, I'm still looking at the same thing I was looking at last time. I think if we can get above this area that I just highlighted, in between this SR level and this point of control, then I think we have a much better chance at getting a move to the highs of the range. But if we start just losing the value area low right now, and we start falling back down below it, then, well, it will definitely start to look like we have rejected from the value area low, from the lows of the range, and maybe that would be a reason for us to come lower. Very locally, we did see a transition of structure. We have started an uptrend on this 1 hour by breaking that last lower high, and now the last higher low is right here around 26,600-ish. And I'll quickly go over my levels of support that I'm looking at if we start falling back outside this range, even though I would be getting more bearish if we start to fall outside this value area low. There are some interesting levels down here. So this is that 1 hour higher low that I was looking at, and right below it we have the golden pocket and a 1 hour order block. So on the 1 hour time frame, I'm looking at this purple candle in between those two blues, and yeah, the blue candle to the right came up to break structure. This is looking like a good order block to me, and it is right below that market structure point. So we have the potential to come down and SFP that, tap off the golden pocket, hit that order block, recover the level. Maybe that could be a trade setup. You might want to trade this as an SFP and wait for the reclaim of the level. Maybe you just want to long the order block. But if I were to trade this, I would definitely treat it as more of a scalp. I don't know if I would be targeting, back inside of this larger range. I would probably just look for a little bounce, maybe look for a higher low. We start to work our way down here. But it is an interesting level. I like the confluence around there. And it is also the, value area high and point of control of this previous range back here. And I am paying attention to these previous day levels, previous day value area high. We might come down to retest that and get a little bounce from there. I'm watching these levels. Really, I'd have to wait and see what things are looking like as we approach them. I'm not seeing anything that stands out too much to me. And again, if we start to fall outside this value area low, then I probably would be less keen on taking longs, if I'm going to be honest. And yeah, for the most part, I'm just trading the local price action. I'm looking to trade the local ranges as they form. That's what I've been doing. There's not too many high confluence, higher term levels that I'm looking at, higher term trade setups that I'm looking at. Right now, I'm mostly focused on the local stuff. And overall, I think we just kind of have to wait for a few days to see what Bitcoin decides to do here. Maybe it wants to fake us out. Maybe we fall back outside here and then reclaim it later and then look to retest it as support before moving higher. Any of those things could happen. So I just kind of want to wait and see what Bitcoin decides to do around, the lows of this range. So now let's go over these two trades that I took. So this first one was on Sunday morning. We had just gotten this pump up to the value area low. We had gotten a little rejection from it, and if I go back on Coinalyze, right here is that wick up to the value area low. You can see we did see a very large decrease of open interest, a lot of shorts getting stopped out, a lot of shorts with their stop losses up in this area that got hit, and that was the first sign to me that this move might be weak, that we might see a retracement back from that move after rejecting off the value area low. And I did enter a starting swing long here, which I later closed out since we got back above the value area low. But I did enter a little bit into a swing long here with my invalidation way higher. That didn't turn out to be anything because I basically closed it at a break even once we started to, claim the value area low. But pretty much from this point, I was interested in shorts. So as price was falling to the downside here, I was looking for a retracement and, basically looking for some kind of setup to get me into a long trade. So price came back up to the golden pocket. We got a near perfect rejection from the golden pocket retracement. And from there, if you look at Coinalyze, we saw basically what I wanted to see. We saw some absorption. We saw price making a lower high here, as CVD and open interest were both increasing, showing that new longs were opening up. more longs were opening up right here than were over here, yet price was making a lower high. You are essentially trying to identify a larger player in the market and basically trying to follow them. And even though you can't directly see this whale opening a short position here, you can see lots of people opening long positions here and price being unable to make a higher high, which then can allow you to infer that a large player may be opening a short here. And another reason I like this strategy is because it gives you a very clear invalidation. My stop loss went right above this high because if price took out this high, it would no longer be absorption. Then price would be doing what the order flow says it should be doing, and it's making a higher high as more people are longing. So if price made a higher high, my idea would be invalidated, and price did get a large move to the downside. I don't remember exactly where I set all my TPs. I think first TP was down around these lows. I took a lot of profits out in this area, and then I took a lot more out down here. And at this point, once I took out profits down here, my stop loss got moved into profit. I think I moved it like above these highs, a little bit above them, just in case we kind of swept that liquidity and then came lower. But I did want to kind of lock in a little bit more profits with this trade. Overall, this one was very profitable. You know, I feel like I took profits at all the right times. I moved my stop loss into profit at the right time because, yeah, as you can see, once we kind of took out those highs, we didn't stop. And once we got this move to the downside, if I zoom out, you can see that this was the value area low of this range that we were trading. Yeah, we were overall trading a range, and I took this short outside of the range highs. So a lot of my TPs were at the key levels in this range. You know, now I'm starting to see where I took my TPs exactly. It was probably the value area high in the point of control and the value area low. And once we got down to the value area low, I took another look at Coinalyze to see what we were seeing. And if we zoom in right here, we did see some more absorption here. As price was putting in this higher low, we saw CVD putting in a lower low right here as the open interest was increasing. So shorts were opening up and potentially being absorbed here. And I don't usually just enter as soon as I see, you know, the CVD dip down below the level that I want it to. Once I start seeing the absorption, I usually like to look for kind of other signs like price struggling to make new lows, kind of showing a rounded bottom or a rounded top. Also looking at market cipher, kind of just trying to increase my confidence in this playing out before I just, you know, enter a long here. Because a lot of times you will see that leading CVD. It'll kind of, you know, throw a curveball at you, make you think that you're seeing absorption, but then price will, you know, very quickly just kind of come down and invalidate that idea. So I like to have other things that give me confidence in it, and this rounded bottom did definitely help. And there were some other things that gave me some more confidence in this, like this divergence that we saw as we put in those lows. Did we see a divergence with money flow? No, we did not. Money flow made a lower low right there, but momentum diverging. And I want to say it was as price started to get this aggressive move to the upside, kind of you know, breaking this little trend that we had of resistance to the upside. I think that is right about when I entered. You know, obviously invalidation below that low where the absorption started forming. And, you know, from there, this ended up being a fantastic trade. One of the best trades I've taken in a while, definitely the best trade I've taken this month, just because of how quick of a move we got up here. You know, usually once I enter a position, I'll set some of my stop losses, and then if price is looking like it doesn't want to go in my direction, like, you know, for example, kind of what we saw right here where price was just consolidating down here, this is when I usually just take more profits out of my trade, you know, more profits that I didn't have set in limit orders. You know, once I'm becoming less confident in my trade continuing to play out, I usually like to take some more profits out. But with this trade, I mean, I didn't get a chance to take extra profits out because price just kept pumping up. And, you know, I did set limit orders up around these highs, but I still got a decent amount of this trade left open. And, you know, I was considering taking some more profits out, but it doesn't seem worth it for me right now until we lose this value area low and maybe even back test it. And yeah, other than that, I'm just looking at local price action. You know, I might start scalping this range if we continue to trade in the range here. Yeah, other than that, I'm not too interested in any higher term trades, maybe other than this 1 hour order block. But like I said, if we're falling outside this value area low, I don't know how confident I would be in taking longs, at least not like a longer term position. I would treat it as a scalp. And yeah, I think that is about all I wanted to go over in this one. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. And I will see you all in the next video.